Some people are hanging out at a bar when one of their cars begins to alarm. The owner begins shouting at two friends who call themselves Mr. Parker and Mr. Longbaugh to get their asses off the car. The dude's girl begins to run her mouth, cursing out the guys. Parker tells her to shut her face, so she gasses up her boyfriend to go over, with a crowd of people following them. She begins to run her mouth once more, so Parker gives her a knuckle sandwich and a brawl breaks out. However, Parker and Longbaugh get jumped and left bloodied in the street. These two low-lifes are criminal drifters, looking for their next big score and finding any means of making a little cash, like selling a pint of blood for $50 or a shot of sperm for $3,000. The two get to a doctor's office, hoping to get signed up as donors and make a little cash. They are sitting in the waiting room waiting for the results, when they overhear the doctor on a call talking about a $1 million payment to a surrogate mother for bearing the child of a wealthy couple. They overhear the name of the gynecologist and get the address from the phone book, and plan to kidnap the girl and hold her for ransom. Meanwhile, we see Hale Chidduck, a wealthy but shady businessman, with his wife Francesca and the surrogate mother Robin. You would think Francesca cannot have kids, but no, she just can't be bothered carrying a child. Hale, however, is very excited about having a child, especially when Robin lets it slip that it's going to be a boy. Robin and her two guards, Jeffers and Obex, pull up to the gyno with Parker and Longbaugh outside keeping an eye on them. Robin sees Dr. Allen, who checks her out and tells her everything is fine. Robin and her guards are leaving the office, not noticing Longbaugh walk past them. They then see Parker walking towards them, and Jeffers and Obex go to pull their weapons, when Longbaugh grabs Robin from behind, holding her at gunpoint. Parker, with a goddamn stocking over his head, holds his guns on the guards, but they aim their guns on Robin and Longbaugh. He orders that they drop their weapons, but Robin tells them it's no use as the guards don't care about dying, just following orders, and the two men should just leave. With no other choice, Parker and Longbaugh begin to retreat, each taking turns to watch each other's backs until they're out of the building. The guards hear gunfire erupt outside, so Jeffers orders Robin to head to the top floor while he goes outside to join the fight, but Robin disobeys. She begins to waddle her way outside, like let me just head towards where the gunfire is, what could go wrong? Parker then bursts in, grabs her and heads outside, where multiple people lay dead and Longbaugh is holding Jeffers and Obex down with gunfire and the two make their escape. The guards grab a car and race after the men. In the car, Robin reveals that due to the gunfire the baby is kicking, but Parker doesn't care and ties her up. They see Obex and Jeffers catching up to them and they pull into an alley and disappear, leaving the car in neutral and Robin inside. The men get out to check, but Longbaugh and Parker shoot at them before jumping back in and driving away. They pull off the same stunt once more, but as the guards try to catch up to them, Longbaugh reverses into their car, disabling it. Parker goes to finish them off but changes his mind and they leave, causing the men to get arrested. On the road, the friends try to get the info about the money from Robin but she refuses, seeing it as her insurance to get out alive. They ask the baby's name but Robin has refused to name the baby, hoping not to get too attached. While Longbaugh does a little shoplifting, outside, Robin is in pain having contractions. They call Alan and he rushes out of his office to get to her. He gets to the location where Longbaugh ensures that he is not armed. They go to the van to check on Robin, but Parker knocks Alan over the head and searches his bag to find a gun. Alan then secretly passes a cell phone to Robin while the guys are distracted. Hale is at his home where he is being advised by his right-hand man Joe, that he cannot pay the ransom as his money is dirty and would mess up his operations. Hale doesn't want to get the police involved either and tells Joe to figure it out. Alan is stitching up his wounds when he realizes that Parker and Longbaugh have no idea who the father of Robin's child is. He explains that Hale is a wealthy and dangerous man with ties to the Mafia and cartel, and the friends realize they are in deep shit. Good news is, Hale may be willing to deal to keep everything quiet. They let Alan go, not before Longbaugh gives him the ransom note, telling him that he will meet them in Mexico with the money alone and he should be ready to induce labor when he arrives. Longbaugh hands him the phone he gave to Robin, having found him out, and tells him to wait for his call. The two friends and their hostage then head off for Mexico. Jeffers and Obex are in police custody, when Hale's bagman Joe comes in to get them. Joe wants to know how they could have messed this up and Jeffers thinks that Robin wanted to escape, as he had sent her away to safety. Joe warns that if they mess up again, then they will be fired, permanently from life. After Joe leaves, Jeffers concludes that Robin is now a threat as the other two and their only focus should be on the child. Alan returns to Hale reporting on Robin's well-being. It is then revealed that Alan is actually Hale's son. He really cares for Robin and wonders if Hale will pay. He mentions going to the police but Hale pins him against the wall, ordering him to do as he is told. Jeffers and Obex then turn up to the house. Longbaugh calls Alan's cell and Jeffers answers pretending to be Hale. Longbaugh gives them the directions to their motel and demands $15 million, then they can leave with the baby. Jeffers goes along with the plan and decide to make the trade. Longbaugh then hears someone tell him his plan won't work and sees Joe step out of the shadows. Joe tells him that he is the bag man, the man that cleans up Hale's mess. Joe offers to pay $1 million if they surrender Robin and simply walk away, noting that they can be found easily. Longbaugh, who is clearly skeptical of the offer from a bagman, declines the cash offer, but accepts Joe's subsequent offer to buy him a cup of coffee. Hale is attending to Alan's wounds, when Alan suggests that maybe he should just pay the money. Hale reveals that he cannot pay as people would come looking for him, and apologizes to his son for getting him involved. Meanwhile, Jeffers goes to see Francesca, revealing that the two are having an affair. Seeing Robin pregnant has made her want a baby, but with Jeffers. While having coffee, Longbaugh and Joe discuss the current state of their chosen profession, including the character of criminals, and how no one takes being a criminal seriously anymore. Longbaugh jokingly mentions they want to be criminals more than they want to commit crimes, to which Joe agrees. After the two leave the coffee shop, Joe tells Longbaugh that he seems like a good guy and ought to get out of this business, to which Longbaugh replies, "What would I do then?" indicating he is a true criminal. Joe again offers to pay them $1 million cash to turn Robin over, to which Longbaugh replies that he wishes he could accept the money, but because Joe is a bagman, he knows it would be a double cross, hinting that he was also a bagman in the past. The two shake hands and guardedly go their separate ways. Jeffers and Obex are talking secretly. With $15 million involved, he thinks they could kill the two men, return the child and take the money without being found out, to which Jeffers agrees and the two plan it out. Longbaugh returns to the room where Parker and Robin are playing cards and joins them. Robin breaks down crying. She starts to explain why she decided to have the baby and how she thought the $1 million could change her life. She, however, hid from Hale the fact that it is her eggs that were used in the conception, meaning the baby is hers. Joe returns to Hale where they plan for Alan, Obex and Jeffers to go to Mexico and deliver the baby. However, Joe will be traveling with the money, much to Obex and Jeffers' frustration. The two talk afterwards and come to realize that Robin is Joe's daughter. At the motel, Parker is having second thoughts about the entire operation and Longbaugh is starting to feel the same way. Parker tries going back into the room but Robin shoots at them through the door. She has taken a shotgun and called the police, warning the men that she can do this all night. They then hear sirens in the distance, and jump in the van and drive away. Robin waddles out of the room just as the cops pull up. Just then, Obex and Jeffers turn up trying to talk to the cops, but Robin refuses to go with them. There is a tense standoff and the cops search the men and find guns. A cop is then shot dead by a sniper who turns out to be Longbaugh along with Parker. A shootout breaks out, with the guards trying to get Robin into the car. Longbaugh shoots Obex, forcing Jeffers to get Robin into the car and drive away with the doctor, leaving his colleague behind. They head into Mexico where Jeffers has arranged for a room for Robin to give birth in. Longbaugh and Parker torture Obex to get Robin's location. At the motel, Alan is inducing labor on Robin, who reveals that something is wrong. Alan checks and explains that Robin is bleeding internally and he must perform a C-section if the baby is to live. Alan wants to get her to a hospital but Jeffers only cares about saving the baby. He holds Alan at gunpoint when Robin begins to shout that the baby is hers and Alan's, and not Hale's, thinking he will let them go, but Jeffers still plans to go ahead with the surgery. Longbaugh and Parker have infiltrated the brothel fully armed looking for Robin. They get to her room where a shootout breaks out and Parker is shot in the leg. Just then, Joe turns up at the brothel with a team of men and begins stacking the money in the square. Deciding to grab Robin first, they burst into the room to see Alan performing the C-section and Jeffers holding him at gunpoint. There is a standoff until Alan pulls his gun and shoots Jeffers, killing him. Longbaugh looks down at Robin, and is shocked to see the state that she is in. Alan proceeds to continue removing the baby and Parker wants to kidnap Robin and Alan again, but Longbaugh, guilt-ridden after seeing her, responds, "She's had enough." They shoot their way out of the room as Joe comes up but manage to escape. Joe bursts into the room, petrified by the sight of his baby girl, but Alan tells him it's under control. Longbaugh and Parker are downstairs looking at the stack of $15 million just laying there. They know it's a trap, but decide to head out where they are greeted by gunfire. During the hail of bullets, Longbaugh is first to get shot but continues to return fire. Parker goes for the cash but dives into a pile of broken glass bottles, injuring his arm. He has his eyes on the stack of cash and is determined to get to it. He grabs one of the bags as Longbaugh covers him, but Joe, who could have killed him, chooses to shoot him in the leg. Longbaugh runs out to save his friend but Joe corners Longbaugh and shoots him in his legs, dropping him. He grabs the bag of cash and sits on it, watching the two men bleed out. He calls for an ambulance to help Robin. Alan emerges with Robin and the baby. Lying in a pool of blood, Parker and Longbaugh call out to Sarno, informing him that the baby is in fact Robin and Alan's, and thus Joe's grandson. Parker wonders aloud if this fact will influence Joe to let them keep the child. Robin and the baby are then taken away in the ambulance with Alan, Joe and the money, leaving Parker and Longbaugh to die. Remember to turn on notifications, so you can watch more movie recaps like this. Thanks for watching.